What's up everybody, welcome back to Camera Exchange. Now, it's been a while since we've done a hands-on review of any camera, so I thought we're gonna bring out an awesome camera for this review, and we're gonna do the Fujifilm X-T30. So I'm really excited to see how well this camera works in the real world and see what it can do. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I really want to talk about with this camera that's really impressed me so far is going to be the imagery on it. The sensor is just beautiful. So you do have that new 26 megapixel APS-C sensor, and Fuji also decided to pair it up with the brand new X-Trans 4 processor. So when you pair those two together, your color consistency is great, your color accuracy is great, and you also have a beautiful resolution coming out of a very compact small camera. Now, also keep in mind, these are the same things you're going to be getting with the Fuji X-T3, but the X-T3 is just a little larger and does pack some other features. So if you're thinking maybe I want something like an X-T3 but maybe a little more compact, the X-T30 might just be your camera. So let's keep shooting and see what else this camera can do. Alright, so I stopped here on purpose because I saw a lot of graffiti and I thought, what other way to test Fuji colors than with a bunch of colorful graffiti? And I gotta say, the Fuji color science is beautiful. They've been really well known for it and they're touted as one of the best on the market, and I gotta say that rings true, especially in this X-T30 and as well as their other cameras. It just blows me away every time I pick up a Fuji camera. I take photos of anything with immense amount of colors and it shows me and represents exactly what I'm seeing with my eye. So that moves me right into the film simulation on the Fuji cameras. Now, they've been doing it for quite a while and it feels like they've really gotten it down to a science because it does it very well. The film simulation on any Fuji camera just looks really true to what the Fujifilm was. Whether you're shooting the Acros, the Provia, Velvia, Astia, any of it, it all looks beautiful. Like me today, I've been shooting mainly Velvia and with some Acros. And the Acros I've been shooting, I can actually put filters on. I can put a yellow, green, red. So I've shot a little bit with a yellow filter and some really dramatic stuff with a red filter. So all in all, the film simulation, the colors on this camera are just absolutely beautiful so far, and I'm really eager to keep shooting it and see what else I can get out of it. So let's keep going. Alright, so now it's time to talk about the overall fit and finish of the Fuji X-T30. Now, the camera feels great. The ergonomics are awesome. It's lightweight, it's compact, it's pretty small too. It feels great. But the main thing that really stuck out to me was the viewfinder on this camera. It is beautiful because it shares the same viewfinder as the X-T3. It has the same $2.36 million viewfinder and the same 100% coverage, but it is a little smaller, which was the only really negative thing for me because it doesn't offer as much eye relief, at least not for me. Now, the next part I'm going to move on to is actually the screen of it. The screen does give you that same up and down flip, so you can even get those high up shots or those low shots, but unlike the X-T3, it does not flip out for the horizontal flip, so you can't do the portrait flip. But at the price point the camera comes in, it's really not that big of a deal. I wasn't expecting to get all the features of an X-T3 in a small camera. But my other complaint on the camera is also the Q button sitting right on the thumb grip. Because my thumb does slip over sometimes and it does hit it. It's not the biggest deal in the world. It's not that big of a problem, but it can be a little frustrating or annoying from time to time. Now moving on to the back end of the camera, you'll notice that there's actually not a D-pad anymore, but they did happen to throw in the joystick, which is pretty cool. It's something I really do like, and it's really nice to be able to change your autofocus points or whatever you command it to on the fly. It's a really nice feature to have, but I do really miss that D-pad. Alright, so another notable mention on the X-T30 for me was the video capability of this camera. Fuji did an awesome job making a very video capable camera for under $1,000. You do have 4K capability at 30 frames a second, all the way up to 100 to 200 megabits per second. Now, your 1080 portion is 1080p up to 120 frames a second in that same 100 to 200 megabit per second rate, which is just beautiful. Now, additionally, it is also 420 10-bit internal, and if you want to go external, you actually have 422 10-bit capability for external use, which is just awesome to have in a camera. Another cool feature to the video on this camera is the fact that you can use your film simulation profiles as well as internal F-log with the Fuji camera. So that was just another one of those great additions that Fuji put into this camera for any kind of video capability. Now, the only downside I see on this camera is the fact that it is not stabilized, which can be a little difficult to handheld shoot. All right, so now moving on to the autofocus portion of this camera, I gotta say Fuji did pack quite a punch into the X-T30. They did put in eye autofocus, face detect, and you also have a 425-point phase detection autofocus system that moves incredibly quick. So if sports photography or any kind of action is your thing, you also have the 8 frames a second in both JPEG and RAW. Now, the only downside is that the buffer in RAW shooting, or your RAW continuous shooting, is pretty low, only at 18 frames. All right, so that's gonna wrap up our hands-on review on the Fujifilm X-T30. Now, I gotta say, I love the hell out of this camera. It shoots great, it does beautiful video, and it's super compact. I feel like I might actually take this camera and go out and shoot, because I have such a hard time taking all my camera gear with me nowadays. I really am just looking for something small, compact, that is super powerful. And the X-T30 really made me feel like I had all that capability that I have with the rest of my camera gear in a small, easy to carry package. Not to mention the large line of Fujifilm lenses that are just beautiful. You can't argue with them. They're great. Most of them are weather sealed. They're just great glass to have. So when you pair all that together, you really have a game-changing system that I just love Fuji for making. I'm so glad the X-T30 was such a good camera and they put so much actual thought into it, and you can really feel that. So good job, Fuji. I love the camera and it's just great. That's all I really have on the X-T30. But that's the end of our video. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also check us out on Facebook and Instagram and show us some love there. Now, if you like what we're doing, give us a comment down below and we'll see you guys next time.